Hello. This week's Parsha is Parsha Terumah, and in this Parsha, Hashem gives instruction to the building of the tabernacle, the Mishkan, and there's this one of my favorite lines, I'd say, in the Chumash, is in this Parsha Terumah, in Perek Chaf Pasuk Chet, which is chapter 25 in Exodus, verse 8. V'yasuli mikdash v'shachanti b'tocham. And they shall make me a sanctuary, so that I will dwell, and that for me they shall make a sanctuary for me, and I will dwell in their midst, or I will dwell among them, as the stone Chumash translates. I love that. Dwell among them. Build a sanctuary for me, well, not me, but for Hashem, which also so everywhere, so I could point to myself, but Hashem's everywhere, right? But build a sanctuary for me, and I will dwell so that I may dwell among them. And I will dwell among them. I believe it could also be, and I will dwell among them. Yeah. So, wow, and then after this, then you have like these intricate instructions about how to build it. Like it should have these rings and these pole and this wood and like a lot of like details that, I was hoping for something more like my sanctuary, like, I don't know, like fireworks, but then it's just these like little stepping instructions that like maybe I get from like IKEA on like how to build a table, like you do this. And what's the connection between building a sanctuary for God and little steps? One idea I'd like to offer is that to build a sanctuary for Hashem, the vessels, the kli, the utensils we use as human beings, or we have, are our thoughts, words, and actions. And every thought, word, and action can be a vehicle, can be one of those parts in the tabernacles, the Mishkan, the sanctuaries of our lives, where we could let God dwell. As the Kotzker Rebbe is famously known as saying, he asked, like, where does God dwell? And he answered, wherever man lets him in, wherever we let him in. And so I think one of the great things about being a human being is we can let God into our lives through our thoughts, words, and actions. And so every thought that's godly is creating a vessel for God's presence in the world, and it's forever. And this is amazing because it's like, it's so beautiful, right? It's just so beautiful and so true. Like, it's not, I feel it sounds like highfalutin, but it's like on a very practical way. Like when someone says thank you, or can I get that for you? There's literally this creation of this beautiful kindness in the world that's forever. That's forever. And what's even better is that no one can do the mission that we are called to, because our thoughts, words, and actions can only be done by ourselves, by myself, by ourselves, by you, in whatever particular place that Hashem placed you. So one may sometimes, when getting into comparing mind, which is never helpful, like, oh, this person, they're doing so much better than me, they do these things, and this person has a more important job, or their life has more important circumstances. The truth is, though, that not taking away that maybe they do have a more important job in a certain social way, or maybe it is a job you'd like to have, but in that specific context you're in, no one can do what you can do because no one else is there. Like, no one else could be that friend or that sibling or that relative or whatever. Like, that opportunity of left some of God's world is only for you. And so no one can do it. No one else can do it but you. And that's, I think, just such a beautiful thing. Another thing I think I'd like to offer is to help. We can always build better parts of our own. I can always build a better sanctuary for God's presence by choosing better thoughts, words, and actions. And so it doesn't mean denigrating the goodness I've done, I think there's value, as Mesillas Yesharim points out, to examine what the good I've done to see the bad in it, and like that's also very valuable. And it's very important not to become self-satisfied and complacent in my service to God or our service to God. And at the same time, it's important not to denigrate. I think, at least for me, to see that yeah, that's a real good thing, and that's an important, like, to see that there's something good, like in the good that's done. And so, but to even get any better is, I think, the practice of setting intentions or even short prayers in whatever circumstances you're in. I'm in. So it could be as much as a walk. Like, I have 10 minutes to walk to the train. God, how can I create some of your presence in the world today? I'm going to set an intention. In this 10-minute walk, I want to think of what I'm grateful for to you for. Or let's say I'm waiting in line at the supermarket, and I could think about what I'm grateful for. I could think about, I could set an intention. Is there what is God asking me? Is there any way I could uplift God's world in this moment? Maybe this person maybe there's someone else that could help ahead of me, or this. The Mesillas in traditional Jewish homes, you know, Rabbi Kraft once pointed out to me that they're like gateway, like a portal is they're a gateway to a different world, right? And so, like, whenever I'm going to another room or entering a new room with people in it, like setting the intention, God, may I add to your presence? May I be a vehicle for your presence, or may I make sure I have patience in this conversation? And so setting intentions, I feel, also helps create a space for God's presence to dwell. May we each find the way to uplift and create sanctuaries for the Lord.